So we're in Cheltenham today and we're looking at another driving test route. This is the second time I've been to Cheltenham now, and what I find in Cheltenham is that there's a lot of tight roads, a lot of meeting situations. We do come across an instance where the sat-nav thinks that there's some roadworks and it tries to turn us off somewhere else. But what we do is just modify the routes, which is what the examiners would do on the day if it happens. So hope this video gives you a little bit of insights onto what to do on your driving test. The video is sponsored by RouteBuddy, which gives you driving test routes for driving test centres around the UK, but I'll talk about them a little bit later on. Okay, so Cheltenham Driving Test Centre is just on the left-hand side, and as you can see, when you start the test here, you are actually dealing with traffic on the road because you're parked on the side of the road to start with. So whenever you move away, make sure you're doing all good all-round observations and you're making sure it's safe. Don't use any signals if it's going to be misleading to anyone around the vehicle. So if there's something coming towards you and you think that it'll benefit from a right signal, then go for it. But if you're putting it on and there's a vehicle coming out of the junction and it doesn't see the indicator, you're better off just waiting for those types of vehicles. So make sure everything is safe before you move away. So we've got somebody crossing the road, somebody getting out of the car opposite, and a van coming from the rear. So as we move away, we're going to have a final check over our right shoulder. Another car coming out the junction, so I'm going to let that car go as well. Now I'll have a final check. And we've got a roundabout straight away as soon as we come out. We're on All Saints Road, and we're going left on the roundabout. It's a mini roundabout, checking to the right, it's good to go. And then according to sat-nav, it looks like a big roundabout ahead of us, but it's actually a gyratory system. So any vehicles coming from your right has to give way to you. So there's giveaway lines on the floor. So we've got straight into a left position, and then we're going to be taking the next turn in to come out. So it's dedicated lane, so we're just going to roll out the junction, and then we're going right on the next roundabout. So mirrors and signals to turn right and a right position. So just going to roll forward, just going to wait now for the vehicles coming from my right. I've got a bus coming from my right, and there's several vehicles behind it, so I'm just going to wait my turn. Now, because there's somebody crossing the road, I'm going to take advantage of it. Pick second gear, rear view mirror, left signal. And as soon as you come out of here now, we're on Prestbury Road. We've got meeting situations. And if you're not 100% sure, just wait. You're better off waiting and everyone saying thank you very much than forcing yourself into a space and making somebody swerve out your way or hit the brakes. So we're going to follow this road now for 0.3 of a mile, and then we're going to be going into Cromwell Road. And nobody on the pedestrian crossing. So everything around here at the moment is 30-mile-an-hour roads. And I'm in third gear and I'm doing 27 mile an hour. Sat-nav will say something a little bit less, but I'm doing 27 mile an hour. So I'm going to be taking the next right. So I'm checking behind, I'm checking right. I'm signalling and changing my position and slowing down at the same time. Now there's vehicles just inside the junction. So I'm going to come in just on my side of the hazard line, wait for the vehicles to come towards me. Right mirror, and then come around the parked cars. Left mirror to come back in. And parked cars, make sure you're checking your mirrors to come out, you're checking your mirrors to go back in. This road here with the gate, pull up on the left hand side and then move away again. highly possible. So the BMW coming towards me is actually waiting, and I'm going to be taking the next right. So it looks like it's just underneath the trees. Some mirrors, signal. Because I'm in the middle of the road, I'm going to pick first gear, just in case. Coming on my side of the road. Right mirror to come around the parked cars. This road I can definitely see pulling up on the left, and if it was vehicles on the left hand side parked on the road, I could see parallel park as well. We're on 7 Road, and because I'm going around the bend, I'm going to check my left mirror to come back in just so I can see a little bit better, and then right to come back out. Somebody coming a little bit quick there, so check my mirrors. My gentleman was just going to come out until he saw me. We've got a crossroads ahead. This is one of the #1 fails on the driving test, is failing to spot a crossroads. Whenever you're going straight ahead in a crossroads, position to the right. And I'll put a link up above so you can see what the #1 driving test fails are. And again, it's a lot of meeting situations straight away. Cheltenham's full of these tight little roads. Somebody coming towards me, so just checking and braking. Check my mirrors to come back out. And then at the end of the road, I'm going to be turning left. So we're in Cleve View Road, and we turn in left into Hewlett Road. I've got parked cars on my left and a junction to my right. I'm just going to wait for these couple of cars to come past. And I've got a silver, sorry, a white van. After the white van, I'll be able to go. So there's the white van. Creep into position. And up ahead now I've got a roundabout. I'm going to be going left, and then I've got another roundabout where I'm going to be going right. So the first roundabout is this one with the island in the middle of the road, with a lamppost in it, so left signals, checking my right. As I come off, I'm going straight into another one, so rear and right mirrors, right signal. Rear and left signal to come off. And this road here, we're on Harp Hill, so it's actually quite a steep hill here. So what I'm going to do is pull up on the left hand side. I'm going to pull over where that black car is now, because this road I could see the examiners asking to do a hill start. So they'll ask you to pull over first, handbrake on, into neutral, and then what they'll do then is ask you to move away when it's safe to do so. So you're going to pick the gear, you're going to set your gas, you're going to look around the car, make sure everything's safe. You're going to look for your bike point, final check, bit more gas just to pull up the hill, then clutch up. You want 15 to 20 mile an hour on this hill before you go for the gear change. If you try anything any less than 15, then the car's going to struggle and you're probably going to force yourself back into first gear. So I'm doing 27 currently. Got roadworks up ahead, so I'm checking all 3 mirrors.
After after a quarter of a mile, turn slightly right onto Mill Lane.
And we're just going to follow the road ahead. So that's the end of the roadworks. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but the vehicles in front, they're actually going very, very tight to the left just so they can see around the bend. Then we've got a bend and then we've got a T-junction. Sorry, a junction coming from the right. So expect things to pull out in front of you as you're going around the bend. Then we're going to be taking the next right. So I've checked all 3 mirrors and I'm signalling. And this is going into Mill Lane. And it's a national speed limit road. Now, national speed limit for a car, which is not towing anything, is 60 mile an hour. But it doesn't mean that you have to do 60 mile an hour. Vehicle up ahead is waiting for me. So I'm constantly checking my mirrors here just to make sure that if something does appear, I'm able to move out of the way if I need to. I'm making sure that I can stop if it's safe to. This road just goes around to the right. Now the light coming through the trees is actually giving like a strobe effect on the windscreen. I'm not sure if it's going to show it. So that's going to limit the speeds I can do. And the DVSA are pushing now for more national speed limit roads, country lanes, just to make the driving test more realistic. Can't quite see here. So I brought my speed down to 23 mile an hour. I'm going to go for second gear because I've got a bend in the road and I can't see. I'm going to leave it in second gear because I want to see what's around the next bend before I increase my speed. So I've got a bit of a straight, but then the road's going to go to the right. So I'm checking all around the car again. It's a sharp turn this one, so I'm slowing it right down. I'm just going to lean forward just to give myself just a little bit extra view. And now I'm going back into a residential area and I'm turning right at the end of the road. Some mirrors, signal, first gear. And the car which is coming towards me now, as they come on the bend, they're actually in the middle of the road, so I'm going to be aware of that. There's a sign there for horses, so I'm going to be aware that there's horses in the road. And whenever you're passing horses, if you do come across them, you want to try and give them a full car's width. And you want the car just to be pulling itself. You don't be accelerating, you don't be making any noise as you're going past because you don't want to spook the horses. So as I said, this is a 30 mile an hour road. I'm actually doing 22. Because the road's quite narrow and there's a lot of bends, so I want to make sure that it's safe before I proceed or before I increase my speed. I'm just doing gentle brakes as I come into that bend, a little bit of gas to pull me out. So the road's starting to widen up and we're going to be taking the next right. So mirrors, signal, position. I'm going to pick first gear and as I turn in now, there's parked cars straight away. I couldn't see them until the last second, so that's why I picked first gear. I could have come in second, but if something was coming, it would have forced me to brake really hard. So whenever you're turning right into a junction, you're not 100% sure, it's better to slow it right down, pick first gear to be safe. So these roads are actually very tight. So on Ryworth Road, and I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but this is a bus route as well. How a bus gets through here with all these parked cars, I do not know. But it explains why they're all parked up on the pavement as well.
Traffic alert, A40 roadworks ahead.
So there's the car just telling me that there's roadworks up ahead. Hopefully it's not going to give us a diversion. The last time I came up in Cheltenham there was a diversion. I had to wait for sat-nav to actually reroute me. It was a little bit slow on the reroute, so it forced me to follow the diversionary signs. Okay, so this looks like a crossroads and we're going straight ahead. So I'm going to take a nice central position here, and we've got traffic lights. So we're just going to take our time on the traffic lights. I can see there's something just around the corner from the bend here. So I'm not going to rush over there. They're probably going to move the same time as I do. And we've been going around 16 minutes so far on this route. And the sat-nav is telling me it's 7 minutes left. So there's about 33 minutes. So by the time you've got all the checks and everything out of the way at the beginning of the test, you've done your eyesight check, you've done one of the show me questions, sorry, the tell me questions. You probably lost around 5 or 6 minutes there, so that this is going to bring us very, very close to the 40-minute mark by the time we finish, with all the checks and everything the examiners do. These lights are actually taking a while, yeah? Okay, so when I get a green light now, because the vehicles in front are moving, nothing should be coming towards me at all. So my light should be next, hopefully. No, there's somebody coming from the right now. So this is probably a 5-way junction, yeah? Now my lights are changing. The gentleman on his push bike, which has just ridden across the road, hasn't checked at all, and it's a 5-way junction. So this road here, I can see that you're going to try and pick your speed up really quick. I'm actually going to slow it down and wait for this white car to come through. Just easing off the brake now, right mirror check. So now I'm just going to hold back again. So I'm doing 18 mile an hour. I'm just waiting for this Mercedes to pull in. As soon as it pulls in, check my mirrors, increasing my speed. So I've got a roundabout ahead, it's a mini roundabout, and I'm taking the third exit to the right. So mirrors, signals. And what I've found with Cheltenham so far, on the couple of routes which I've actually done in the area, it's a lot of mini roundabouts. So if you are a bit scared of roundabouts, practice them, get used to them, because you are going to have to do them in Cheltenham. So we turn in right here, some mirrors. I'm not going to signal yet. I've got my position. And the reason why I'm not going to signal yet is because I'm going to wait until I start moving. Because if I get stuck on another red light after the vehicles in front move, then that indicator's already going to wind me up. So I'm going to wait for them to move first before I put my indicator on. And we're going on to Cirencester Road. So the traffic seems to be moving freely, going from left to right. Lights are changing. So now I'm going to put my signal on. I'm going to expect the vehicles to be coming towards me. So wait in the middle of the traffic lights. And I'm going to move forward enough to give the lorry behind me time to go round. So this is Cirencester Road, the A435. And again, I can see him pulling you over on the left-hand side here. I can also see him pulling you over on the right, and then possibly reversing back 2 car lengths. And I'm just leaving this in 3rd gear. I'm letting the car do all the work, and it's holding me nicely. As I start to come into the flat and then go into the hill, I'm going to give a little bit of gas so I don't lose momentum. And in 0.1 of a mile, I'm going to be turning left. I can see traffic lights up ahead, so I'm assuming that's what it's telling me. So mirrors. It's actually a straight through road. I can't stop in time there. Now we've got a bit of traffic. And if you notice, I'm leaving myself space in front to think. I'm not closing that gap up unless I need to stop. So we're just going to follow this road for half a mile until we reach Hewlett Road. And looking at the sat nav is one of those little types of chicanes in the road coming up. So because I'm stopping, I'm going to close the gap. And whenever you stop behind vehicles, give yourself tyres and tarmac, so you should be able to see the tyres on the car in front and the road. And another way of looking at this is what you're trying to do is give a safe haven for motorbikes. So if there's a motorbike going around you and he needs to get in quick, at least you left a safe space. If you leave a big gap and is over a car length, then if something's going around you and he needs to get out the way, he's going to get in. But you just need to make sure that keep all the vulnerable road users safe. Traffic's starting to move, checking both sides, starting to move away. Before we carry out the next part of the video, I'd just like a quick shout out to our sponsor today, RouteBuddy, which supplies driving test routes for all around the country. One of the biggest issues when learning how to drive is filling those gaps and practice on roads where you may have to go on your driving test. So RouteBuddy has been designed to give you the best possible chance of learning in between driving lessons and while you're on personal practice. When you use the app, all you need to do is select your driving test centre and select the route which you'd like to practice on. RouteBuddy will give you turn-by-turn directions throughout the route. If the route has to be changed, then RouteBuddy will do it for you. If there is unexpected roadworks on roads or road closures, just turn off the route and RouteBuddy will change the route for you, getting you back on track as quick as it can. I genuinely think that if you are learning to drive and you get into test standard, RouteBuddy will help you practice in your area on roads where the examiners are likely to take you. All you need to do is select the driving test centre where you're taking your driving test, and it'll give you multiple routes for you to practice on. So if you're looking for an app which will help you with your driving lesson practice or just general driving practice, then RouteBuddy is for you. So another set of traffic lights. The camera's been getting quite hot today, so if there's a bit of a break in the video, it's because the cameras have caused a little problem due to the heat. The car's registering 35 degrees at the moment. It is quite stuffy. The aircon's on, but I don't want it on too loud, so it drowns out the actual sound of the video for you. So as usual, when you're on traffic lights, take your time, look ahead, see if there's any restrictions in the road, see if there's any changes of speed limits, anything which will give you that little bit of a heads up before you actually move away. So as I'm looking ahead, I can see these parked cars on the left hand side just after the traffic lights. I can't see any speed changes. There's a queue of traffic coming towards me, and I can see there's a bus stop. Now, because there's no bus in front of me, nothing's going to stop in front of me, but there could be people waiting at that bus stop because there could be a bus behind me at some point. So it's trying to give yourself the edge and the extra bit of information to make sure that you are safe. So if you notice, as I come through the traffic lights, I check my right mirror, I start to drift into position because I've already seen the parked cars. So the reason why I mentioned the vehicles queuing coming towards me when I was waiting at the traffic lights is because something could be going around them. So another set of traffic lights, and I'm actually turning right here. So I've done my mirrors, got my position. Again, I'm not going to signal until I start moving. The road markings are saying that I have to go right. So I'm only going to signal when I start to move forward. So looking to my right now at the traffic lights, the signs I can see is Cricket Club. Don't know where the Cricket Club is. This is the second time I've been to this area, to Cheltenham. It could just be around the corner, so there could be a lot of traffic around there. Mirrors and signals again. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get up to the stop line. I'm not going to go in the cycle box, and I'm not going to stop on top of the pedestrian crossing. When the black car moves, I'll be able to clear the crossing. I can't see the traffic lights now because of the bus. So look at this one on the left. Now I can move to the middle. Now I can go. So park cars. So just keep checking around the vehicle, make sure everything's safe. And earlier on when I was actually coming to the driving test centre, there was a quad bike rider who was actually driving very, very recklessly, and he was jumping red lights and everything, going around vehicles while they're driving. It was just dangerous riding, and this is another reason why I say make sure that you're aware of everything at all times, because if something changes or something happens which you're not used to, it could be dangerous for you. Luckily,
Traffic alert. A435 roadworks ahead.
so the car's telling me that there's roadworks ahead. And the 435 actually goes back to the driving test centre. And I know that those roadworks have actually gone now, because they were packing up right at the beginning of this video. So roundabouts up ahead, going to be going left first exit. So another mini roundabout. Mirrors and signals. And now I'm back into the gyratory system. So you can see the giveaway sign directly in front of us. So that's for the vehicles coming from the right. So what I was saying about the quad bike is I could hear it well before I could see it, because they were revving the engine so much. But sometimes you can't hear them, you can't see them. So just be aware of everything at all times. Now we're going to go right on this roundabout, some mirrors and signals. I'm just going to let the car pull itself. And then mirrors and signals to come off. So I'm back on Prestbury Road. I'm not sure what's happened here, but the sat-nav is now saying that it's... I know what's happened. So I'm going to turn right here. So I'm going to disregard the sat-nav at the moment, because I think it thinks that the roadworks is still there, so it's trying to divert me. And I know there's a route around here to actually get me back to the driving test centre. So we're on Wadden Road. So I'll turn the sat-nav off on the main video. I'm just going to follow this road now. It's got a sign for football town, sorry, Cheltenham Town Football. So we've got a bus ahead. It's got his indicator on, so I'm checking my mirrors ready. Coming off my gas just in case I can't go. Final check my right. If the bus has switched his indicator and put his right indicator on, then I need to let that bus go. And I'm going to be taking the next right. Some mirrors, signals. Right, ready to come around the parked cars. So this vehicle ahead of me now is going to pull in because it can't get through. Still checking my mirrors just in case I need to alter my position. And then at the end of this road, I'm going to be turning right. Mirrors, signals. This is Clearview Road. I can't see properly, so I'm just going to edge forward. It's good to go. And then I'm going to take the next right. So this is Hewlett Road, mirrors and signals. Got a lady crossing the road, that's why I hesitated before I turned. And this is Pittville Circus Road. And then I should have a mini roundabout coming up. When I'm going to be turning left. And as I turn left, the driving test centre is going to be on my right hand side.
Traffic alert. A435 roadworks ahead.
So the car's kicked in again to tell me about the roadworks, which are no longer there. So here's my mini roundabout, some mirrors, signals. I'm turning left into All Saints Road, and the first building you can see here now is the driving test centre. So I hope this video has given you a little bit of an insight into the roads you could be tested on and what to do when SatNav goes wrong because it thinks his roadworks in and they're no longer there. YouTube's about to pop a video up on the left hand side somewhere because he thinks that you might want to watch it next. It could be another driving test route in the area, it could be something totally different, but it's worth giving it a click just to have a look if it benefits you. So hope you've enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.